Do you ever wonder if there is a specific tool that could help you understand the totality of your business environment with one shot? It probably sounds too good to be true, but I think I have the answer for you today. It's not a brand new tool. Many big corporations use that tool to analyze their companies. I consider it to be a strategic planning technique to help you improve your company and take it to the next level. It's called SWOT. Stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you take that methodology and apply it, you'll find a lot of power built into it. On the surface of it, it seems very simple. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But once you start digging into it one by one, that's where the power lies. So let's get started here. The first two things you gotta remember when you use that tool is that you have to operate initially at a high level with it. Don't try and dig into the minor details. What I want you to do is draw a square and turn it to 4 quadrants. And in the upper left hand, it's S for strength, just at the upper corner. On the upper right hand, put W for weaknesses. On the lower left, put O for opportunities. On the lower right, put T for threats. Put them in a small font so you just can identify them. So let's talk about some more reasons why you should be using SWOT. Number one, it's a 360 degrees analysis of your company. It encompasses all aspects that are important to your progress and survival. Number two, it's proven to be effective. And number three, it is not too granular. It can be built in a short amount of time and give you insights into how your company is moving. So let's talk about why is it important to the exit mindset. We need to keep in mind that your primary goal is to think of your company as a number, as a value. What is the valuation of your company right now? And number two, then you want to think of your company as what value will it have as you sell it in the future? And what can you do today to increase that valuation? If you take the concept of reverse engineering, which we talked about in the past, where you look at your future objective and go backwards, and then use the SWOT analysis to try to understand where you are right now, and then start deciding on the path you need to go on. So the first thing, you're going to start with your strengths. So let's talk about what strengths are we talking about. The 3 things we talk about in the exit mindset are the product, the infrastructure, and the conversation. Where are your strengths there? So list them and then list your 1 or 2 strengths with relative to each one of them. But the key to this is that you got to do it in a very objective way. Don't try to go into the most granular level of your strengths. Just your big strengths, where they are. Once you identify them with respect to each one of them, you're going to put it there. Now, sometimes you're going to find that I can't find the strengths in that because I don't know what the strengths are. Do your best. Trying to come up with at least 2 for each. Make it simple. Then you go to your weaknesses. This is where sometimes it's hard to be objective and also hard to find the real core issues. And the easiest way to do this is to use what I call groupthink. So bring the people in your company that know what's going on. Again, some things you might know, some things they might know themselves. So what you want to do is get as many range of opinions as you can. And again, make sure you keep it to the highest level. So what are the biggest 2 weaknesses in your product? What are the 2 weaknesses in your infrastructure? What are the weaknesses in your conversation with the consumer? And we're not talking about just the verbal, it's verbal, non-verbal, any form of communication you're having with them, any form of conversation. Then you go to the 3rd quadrant, which is your opportunities. What opportunities exist there in the marketplace for you? Where do you think future breakthroughs are going to come from? Don't try and think of solutions. Just try and identify them. Try and identify where the opportunities are, and again, list them for all 3. And you do the same for the last one, which are the threats. Who are your competitors? Where do you think the biggest problems are? What could happen in your environment that could be a threat to you and your situation? In every company I built, by the way, I did exactly that process. Usually, I do that evaluation on a monthly basis myself. But then, eventually, I've decided that I should bring the team into the process and start doing that with them. And I cannot tell you how much power I found by bringing the team in with me. Because when I was doing it, I was identifying all these things, but I wasn't having the range of opinions and the direct understanding of what people are thinking when it comes to these particular 4 quadrants. They had insights that I couldn't think about, and they were letting me know things that I wasn't aware of, and that helped a lot. So again, I'm trying to give you information and ideas from the trenches, is that it would work much better if you bring in your people into the process. Now, the other thing about SWOT analysis, it gives you an insight into not just your external issues or references outside the company, but internal as well. So once you're done with the analysis, you can start examining where the issues are, where the solutions are. You're going to find a lot of power in that again. So once you're done, you'll probably have a meeting with your team, and you start looking at it one by one. And then for each one of those, if it's a strength, see how you can improve it. Or, is this the thing you should be strong on? I can't tell you how many times we looked at the strengths and realized that is not what we should be strong on. We should be strong on something else. So that's going to be helpful to you. It comes to the weaknesses. It allows you to understand breaking points, and you evaluate them based on their ability to wreak havoc in your company. That's the first thing you've got to look at. Is this weakness going to be destructive, or is it going to be something that I could live with until I fix it? And in many, many cases, you're going to find some things will pop up that are very important for you to fix immediately. Threats and opportunities, it's the same thing. You repeat the process, and you're trying to understand what are the things you can take advantage of and what are the things you should be avoiding. Let's talk about some of the pitfalls that I find when people do SWOT analysis. One of the biggest ones that I find is that people make long lists of strengths, weaknesses, and they're excited about it in the beginning. Oh, let me list all these things. I suggest in the beginning, don't try and do it that way. Try to limit it to the high-level thinking. And then, as you become more proficient, try and drill down into the things that you're looking for. Or you could do a different way. You could figure out the high-level points in each quadrant, and then from there, try and go drill down separately. But don't try to make your SWOT analysis a place where it becomes overwhelming. And I can tell you, if you want one piece of actionable item you can take right now, just do it that way. Just take the high-level approach. Try and limit it to 2 to 3 per item. Don't go more than that. And the results will show. It's something that you should be doing at least monthly. And if you like, do it weekly. You see, as the leader of your business, you're the one who sets the vision. But if you're not analyzing what's going on with the company, and you're not analyzing the strengths, the weaknesses, the threats and opportunities, and you bring all that into the vision so that make sure that it's consistent with what you're looking for, that is the way to do this and to make sure that you are on target with what you're looking to achieve. You need to remember, you and your employees are in it together. You got to work hand in hand and make sure that you all collaborate in the right way to make sure that you all understand each other clearly. You will not be able to understand everything that goes on. They're the experts at what's in their field. You're not, by the way. Sometimes you think you are, but you're not. And you got to be able to trust their judgment, understand what they're telling you, and effectively incorporate your vision into the problems that they have. That way, you can adjust it a little bit to make sure that you get to the target you're looking for despite all the difficulties that they're seeing. And by the way, that applies also to the strengths. So sometimes they're going to come to you and tell you, here's a strength, here's something we do very well. And you need to seize on that and use it as a platform to go forward. So the big thing about SWOT analysis, what I did for you here is giving you a tool. What I'm trying to do here all the time is give you tools. I don't give you too much of a complicated ideas that would end up just sitting on the shelf. So SWOT by itself can be a complicated tool if you wanted it to be. I am saying, let's just simplify it. So you're going to take that tool, you're going to take the methodology, you're going to simplify it into a pen and a piece of paper. And you're going to draw a square and make 4 quadrants and just write down all these 4 elements in there and all the results you're looking for from that particular tool, and then go ahead and work on it. And don't make it too complicated. This exercise should not take you more than 20 minutes, a month if you wanted to. And you take that piece of paper and look at, examine it, and just go work on it with your people. And that will create much more massive results than just kind of randomly working at things and hoping that you understand where you are, where you're going, or here's what I think I'm good at and that's what I'm not good at. But it's very random. This actually gives you a framework to operate your company in a very methodical way. So that's my tip for you for today. I hope it helped you. Again, remember, if you don't take action, nothing happens. Action is everything. Use it or lose it. I'm Rem Oculee, and I will see you in the next podcast.